Welcome back to Comedy Trap House News. It's your boy Marvin Telp. Do you know what today is? It's an anniversary. An anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russia has now been invading Ukraine for over a year, and they still have not gotten what they wanted, which is a little surprising. I can't hold you. I'm a little surprised Russia has not been able to accomplish their goal. This is the epitome of when someone say, yo, come over here real quick and help me. It's only going to take 5 minutes. And then you there 5 hours later and you ain't done any of the things that you thought you were going to do when you got there. So Ukraine has doubled down. President Zelensky has said, we are not negotiating with terrorists, referring to the Russians. And why not? You've been fighting this war against Russia for a year, and Russia's not really winning. I would tell Russia the same thing. F you, the U's for Ukraine. Anyway, speaking of places being exactly who we thought they were, let's hop down to Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis is waging his war on anything not white. Right now they are in the process of trying to pass a bill that will allow the power from state schools to be transferred from the actual school administration, the people who actually run these schools, to a group of appointed people by who, might you ask? Governor DeSantis. And this is part of his initiative of making sure that the education in Florida is streamlined. It's one of those things where you see him tripling down on being white, and yet it feels like no one's doing anything about it. So one of the things that he wants to do is make sure that all of the curriculum, and we know what he's been doing with African American studies, all the curriculum is focused on one goal. And here's what the goal is. This is a quote, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to make sure the education promotes the values necessary to preserve the constitutional republic. He wants to make sure that the Constitution of the Founding Fathers is upheld the way it was written originally. Forget that there was a Bill of Rights, which are actually amendments to make changes to the Constitution. No. He wants to make sure the constitutional republic is held intact. And I think that's important, and I stand by him, but I got questions. And my first question is, why are there 75 Confederate memorials left in Florida? Because if we're going by constitutional republic, they were traitors. We know this. We actually know the Confederate Army was an army of traitors. But in standing with George DeSantis's motto and vision of Florida's education, they've now got to label them Confederates traitors. And you know they don't want to do that because they still have yet to say anything about these traitors. You goddamn right. Every time I get to throw sauce on January 6th, I'm going to, because they're actually traitors to the United States of America. Go figure. Since we're in Florida, and Florida wants to keep Florida-ing, not the good Florida Evans, there was an 85-year-old woman who tragically lost her life to an alligator attack. She was walking along a pond with her Shih Tzu, and the alligator came out and went to attack her Shih Tzu. Being the hero or heroine, am I allowed to sexualize hero and heroine, or is that a problem, Emmanuel?
Sure.
Being the person that she was, she went to rescue her dog. And the alligator flipped the script on her, grabbed her by her foot, and pulled her into the lake. And that is an actual tragic loss of life. I would have had to go dog shopping that day, because what I'm not doing is fighting an alligator for Shih Tzu. And that's a very Florida thing, right? Like in Florida, they are used to alligators being around. So much so that this community had even named this particular alligator because they were friends. They had seen the alligator grow up. They watched it go to school, graduate, go to prom, find a... No. But it's just one of those things where, ladies and gentlemen, wild animals are still wild animals. As Chris Rock said, that tiger went tiger. Like, the gator just did what gators do. My life over a dog? Shit. Zoo. I'll be better. Speaking of being better, we're gonna hop to Ohio, where former President Donald Trump has been in the trenches with the Ohioans that have been suffering tragically from this derailment of the train. So there was a derailment in Ohio where these chemicals hit the ground in the derailment, and they've been doing a massive cleanup, and we don't really know what the long-term effect of these chemicals are going to be. They have evacuated some people are staying in the house. They have full responsibility to clean this up. The company does, according to President Joe Biden. And so Donald Trump has been campaigning, helping out there, giving out water, bottled water, and Cheetos, branded Cheetos to the people. Of course, he's getting plenty of camera time, and he's being critical, hypercritical of everybody. The president, the company, the conductor of the railway, the train rail track creators, about 3 Kims, LaToya, and Tina. He's mad at everybody. I kind of stand behind him in this one because he has a right. Everyone who is responsible for the conditions that have led to this should be in trouble. And he believed that until Pete Buttigieg came out and was like, hey, real quick, just in case you forgot, Donald, your administration that deregulated the railways. I'm sorry, what? It was your administration that did this. You set up the lower railroad standards so that things like this could happen. We told you probably shouldn't do that as the Democratic side, and you was like, we're cutting costs everywhere. And then Donald Trump came out with a very stern statement. I didn't know. I had nothing to do with it. Your administration, the administration Donald Trump, your people who got an answer to you were like, hey, we're gonna do this. And you were like, sure, and signed off on it. And your response is, it wasn't me. Shaggy, you mother... But we're talking about long-term environmental effects, and that's something we actually have to deal with throughout this country as a whole. Once that man became president, he deregulated so many of our industry standards, from smog to pollution to drilling to you name it. It's been deregulated one way, shape, or form to make a couple extra dollars, right? But the problem is the long-term impact, and we're setting ourselves up for a very bad future. One, Mother Nature is trying to get rid of us every day. She's excessively trying to get rid of us. Right now in California, it's raining. And I know that doesn't sound like much anywhere else, but out here, it might as well be a tsunami. We have a growing carbon footprint here in these United States. One things that we were trying to implement as in regulations, easy regulations, we've repealed since that administration. We have to get a handle on this, because this accident could have been prevented had the right steps been taken, right? Had the railroad, yes, trains derail all the time. It really is a thing. But if you're shipping hazardous material, maybe you have a train that's running in front of you. Maybe you're going a little bit slower. Maybe there are a series of common sense things that we can do to protect from an environmental disaster like this. The same thing when we come to our fracking, when we have underwater drill pipes. There are millions of things that we can do that may cost a little bit of money now that can save a lot of lives later. Please, 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 again, talk to the people that represent you, your constituency, your neighbors, your friends, and make sure they understand what's important to you. That short-term dollar is not worth long-term loss of life. It's just not. Anyway, that's our time with Comedy Trap House News. Like, subscribe, and comment. And I say comment, and every time I say comment, it almost feels like you purposely don't comment. We're getting less, every time I say comment, the videos get less and less comments. Comment! And even if the comment is, I'm commenting because Marvin's getting on my goddamn nerves, comment. God damn it. See you next week. Peace.